All right, everyone. Tonight, what we are doing is we are going to take one book concept and make it into a series. One of the things that we've been discussing and what we did, I think it was last week, I don't know, I've lost all track of time, is we created a book. Awesome, right? Today, though, we're over on my laptop, and what we're going to do is actually take one of the codexes, and we'll discuss how to do this differently as well. But we're going to take a codex that I created, and it has the story Bible, and then it has the outline. And we're going to have Claude create as a series. Why do we want that? Because we want it to, well, we want to make money. And let me give you an example. I'm reading, as many of you know, I read a lot of books. I've read over 300 so far this year, and I think I'm on the track to beat everything. And that does not include the books that I write. So, but what I do when I'm on Kindle is I just click next. I just click next. I don't even look. I just go. Why? Because I'm on Kindle Unlimited, and that's what I'm doing. I finished the book. Let me continue. I finished the book. I'm continuing. If I don't like it, I'm done. Um, this happens even when you have omnibuses and things like that, which are compilations of all the books in the series. I want more. So, like, I've seen authors and they'll have an omnibus of like 10 books, and then they have a whole nother omnibus of 10 books. Guess what, guys? I'm the one that wants that. Why? Because I only have a certain number of space on my Kindle Unlimited account. So that's an awesome thing to do. But what it does is it gets the read through going, right? We want the binge readers. We want those people to continue. If it's I can go back in time, and there's one of the books, it was offered not on Kindle Unlimited at the time. I think it is now. Um, but it was a psychological thriller, and it was like on Amazon First or something like that. I don't know when it first came out. Um, and there wasn't a book two. And I sat there and I afterwards, and I can tell you this because I read this book many years ago and I still think of this book. So then as soon as I found out that there was a book two, I went and got it. I was disappointed, but I did read it. Um, it did not have the same impact as book one. However, there's other authors that I sit there and wait for the next book. You can go way back in time and start with Jim Butcher, like so many years ago. I don't even know when he started writing, and he had the Dresden Files. And from there to here, guys, I'm still buying the books, and I can tell you I've moved at least 3 times since I started getting those books. So at least 3 times, and I usually stay in a house about 10 years. So that kind of gives you an idea. Um, so it gives you an idea, and that's what we want to build. We want to build our reader base to be people that buy books, that read our books and binge read and page turn and page turn and page turn. Books do not need to be interconnected in the way that it goes from book one to book two but to book three, and you have to read it in order. There is absolutely no reason why you can't do an interconnected series that's based on a theme. For example, previously in other videos and other talks, you guys have seen my dark romance pen name. And that one has some series that are all interconnected and same world, and like you got to read them in order. But the ones that actually do the best, believe it or not, are the ones that they can just pick up some book in the middle and just read. One of the ones right now that's out, I think it's in the top 50, is like the third book in the series. Why it's in the top 50, I don't know. Um, the only advertising I do is posting reels and TikTok stuff. I don't, I do one email a month for that one. Um, Holy crap, that scared me. I'm not used to cha-ching sounds. Um, I'm not used to sounds on anything. I don't know if anyone else does that, but everything I have is on mute at all times. Um, so what we want to do is be able to take something that we already have, and maybe we already have readers for it, or maybe we're bringing in readers for it, and we want to create multiple books from that concept. Now, a lot of you have purchased, and this isn't a requirement at all, um, but you've purchased either a codex outline package from me or you've bought one of the plugins. Like last week, I showed you how the outline works and rolls into the writing. Then even showed you the Inside School has the actual manuscript it produced at the end, that I let run overnight. That was a cozy lit RPG. So you can do anything with these and it can work from anywhere. What I'm going to do is start us off with, um, where did it go? Oh, I'm going to show you the premise of the one that I picked. And there's a reason why I picked this one. I think it was supposed to be a series, and my system pushed it all together, but I'm going to show you what it is. But again, it doesn't make a difference what it is. Yeah, some of you have purchased an obscene number of codexes, and so yeah, this should help you create more from that. Just to like because you don't have enough, so you need more at this point, right? So let's jump into this, and I'm going to show you. Yeah, you guys are only doing it because I that whole business, by the way, just to let you all know, was only because I was creating so many ideas for myself. So that's how this all started. That I had so many ideas going on in my head that this all started. So, of course, here's the market ready story concept. Now, guys, if you have questions, go ahead and still drop them in the chat. I know that you guys are still chatting and I can't even see it at this point. Um, I have to find it because I can't see the chat and I need to see it. There we go. Okay. Where did it go? I have way too many buttons open. I would like to let you know this. Okay, so this is the premise of the story. It's not the outline, it's not the codex. We'll go there in a little bit. But it's a romantic comedy, and this one we actually, believe it or not, I had Claude go through some of mine to figure out which one would work really well for this class. This one was designed, as you can see, it's a friends group setup, multi couple point of view, banter heavy workplace comedy, found family, slow burn, he falls first, big city setting, blah, 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 blah. So it's for people. Well, I don't want to do a book with four people. Why? Because I don't want to do a book with four people. So, what I'm going to do is I've actually moved these into a folder inside of another folder. It's actually the classroom folder on my Google Drive. It has the basic everything that you guys are used to seeing, your PDF files, and that's what we're going to be working with. Let me see if I can share that tab. Yeah, I am going to need to share that tab anyway. Share this tab instead. Oh, that was very nice. They didn't have that last week. So it has, you guys get just the PDFs. They're usually exactly the same. There are sometimes it truncates when it makes the PDF, but I've tried to fix that. You have to understand that it's 198 steps to get from my idea to this. So it sometimes get lost. But it's the same outlines and same codexes you guys are used to seeing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually copy this link because I don't always trust Claude. Now I'm going to have to do a little bit of jumping here. and stop sharing and wave to everyone. Go over into Claude. That cha-chinging is going to, I love the cha-chinging, but at the same time, oh my gosh. Okay. This is my classroom. This is Claude Cowork. If you don't know Claude Cowork, here's your basic chat. This goes everywhere with you, whether it's on your phone, whether it's computer to computer, it all goes together. Okay. This is my question this morning. Why does Claude has an aversion to question marks? I really needed to know. And then yesterday there was the question about SpaceX in the group. And so I needed to make sure and evaluate the thing before I submitted my response. So I ask questions. It's also where I have it take my concepts and expand them for my daily posts because I write all those on my phone. And what I write isn't always nicely written, but it's got Cloud Code and Cowork. We are working for this particular class inside of Cowork. Now you want to do projects. I have it set up so I have different projects for different things. Different pen names have their own project. Why? Because they have their own rules inside of them. This one we're just doing inside the classroom because it's generic. I'm not publishing these books. They will actually just kind of go there. Yes, I see you. I see you. You can come up here. I'm sorry that the cat ran away. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to type in, thank you for sitting on my laptop. I'm going to give it my link. Now, granted, it is inside the folder that is that's attached to this project. So then, so what I have installed is the series creator plugin. Now understand something. You don't have to type all of these things all the time. You can use regular language, like just say series creator, plan a series or something like that, mandatory triggers. Yeah, BarkBox just showed up before I started class, so you all know that that was crazy, but he only got one thing out of it because I'm taking the rest up to South Carolina. But if you hover over these, it will tell you what the triggers are. I don't know if people realize that, but series creator, okay, look at the outline and codex for in the above linked folder and create a series with it. That's all I'm going to type. I can add more if you want. You can take off less if you want. A lot of times I'll even say please. I'll use my tokens to be polite because gosh knows what happened. Oh, okay. It's going to come up 5 books. So this one, I do want it to be book one is book one, but I want only one couple per book. Interconnected different leads. So, or standalone in the same world, shared world. Which one do you guys want for this one? So this is a rom-com. It's warm. It's not cozy. It's just a rom-com. I would, okay, interconnected different leads. We can do that. Absolutely. You're first, Jen, so you get to choose. No one else typed as fast. I'm doing 5 books just because I like the number 5 for a series of books. Sometimes what I'll do and what people don't really realize works sometimes is I actually will make book 1 my lead magnet or reader magnet. whatever you want to call it. I call it lead magnet. I've been doing this for so long, it's called a lead magnet in my head. So it's going to guide you through stuff. It's going to, group chat goblins, codex and outlines. Yep, it's built around two. I only want split book one into book two. Into two books because they're all brand new characters introduced in their books. Should we use, I think we should mix this one up. Some vivid form coworkers, some new arrivals. Yeah, I would do that. Yep, mix. So sometimes going back while it thinks and does its thing is that, and I did this in a cozy mystery series and it actually did very well. I actually put book one on book funnel. And yes, I understand that it was a 50,000 to 60,000 word book, but I put it on there. The read throughs for that series when I released it was very, very good. So, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take book one through book five, put them together in an omnibus, and package it up. You can do that on Kindle Unlimited because it's not just book one, it's a whole new book and it's not released. It's in a totally different format. It is actually allowed. Go figure, but it works. So it's going to do its little thing. It's going to extract everything. Now, a lot of people are wondering, okay, well, that's great. You've already got this, whatever. So what happens if you ran it through with a book? So say we did create, let's see, hold on. Rom-com outline. Create a cozy paranormal outline for me. Make it unique. I've run this like 3 times in the last couple of days. I loaded up to my YouTube channel gets to be monetized hopefully in June. I have to reappeal it. I figured out what was wrong. I could probably go and check to see what the heck he did. I could probably go and do a couple extra steps. I've just been lazy. Apparently, you have to go talk to him on X. I'm not doing that. So, are you also paying attention that I can do two things at once? I can do the two things at once, so can you. So, from here, I can see what's going on here. They're both still thinking. I don't know why this one's taking so long to think, but whatever. I don't know if this is prime time for usage now or what it thinks. But I did these, I created some novellas and I tossed them into YouTube. I actually have not even listed them on Amazon at this point. Um, so I wanted to do some quick, cozy rom coms. I'm known for them. It was simple, whatever. So it's a lot of fun to do that. Now, once it creates it, and I'm going to actually tell it just, I'm going to pick the idea and tell it just to go with it after it comes up with a couple concepts. Now, if I'm watching, I'll end up like, everyone says that I do a lot. And what I'm actually doing is multitasking at the same time. So when I'm doing this, at the same time, I will also be doing marketing for something else. At the same time, I will be doing something else. Then I come back and like today I had it writing book a prequel for a series. Then I had it editing that while I was writing book one. So that sort of thing, because I was trying to figure out the voice on that one. And um then at the same time, I'm jumping over into chat and getting covers made because he's really upped it. of what he can do. And there's from someone, I think it was Kate Seeger. Okay, you can't sit on the laptop. Um, she typed in something, and I'm actually going to post it in here. Hold on one second. Let me find it. I'm going to post it in chat. If you add this to the, oh, it says it's too large. Crap. Well, that sucks. I should have like unlimited. Um, I'll post it in the group. But ultra smooth rendering, crisp edges, polished surface. It's from Kate Seeger. And what it does is that it removes all that graininess from the pictures. So it actually turns out really well. So this one's still working while this one is still reading. So it is extracting everything. If you notice, it's 30 steps. So this stuff is working continuously while you can go do other stuff. There's no reason why you can't. Like I said, a lot of people they're like, well, you do all this stuff, and yeah, I do. I don't. I think it's in the. Let me do a quick look. I think it was one of the first ones I actually dropped. So it might be like hidden in its own little, not in its own little thing, but is it on? Go to Welcome to VIP Day 1. It's right under Outline Plugins. It's all the way at the bottom. I am updating it this week because I guarantee you, being that it was updated in March, that it needs to be updated for the validation naming shit that they do, which is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, it's still working there. And this one, concept locked. Okay. Going with a fresh angle that sidesteps the saturated vampire, witch, shifter, ghost territory. Excellent. Excuse me. You can't be on that table. I know. You only need to update them if you haven't installed it. Seriously, only if it does a big update. Like if I add a new language to the translation one, please update it. Validation errors, it doesn't care once it's installed. And it's honestly like today, I the pronunciation, or not the pronunciation, the punctuation wrong. It actually, excuse me one second. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, the one I did for punctuation this morning, it actually argued with itself because why is it debugging that browser? It started like, what did it do? Oh, it was like 3 characters over. So it couldn't figure that out. I mean, it took it a half an hour just to figure that part out. I'm like, you make the rules. Why can't you follow them yourself? So it's not perfect. They keep changing it. Like, if you don't have the author name in there, like who created it, if you guys actually dig into some of them, they'll say like I2I Hype, which is my company name, which Claude is registered under. So that's what it makes it. But then some say Books and Biz. Then some say Dana. So they have even their own rules. I don't think that they understand them. I really don't. It's still working. There are now 62 steps. So as you can see, this is not something that it's just like boom, boom, boom. It's going to come up with stuff and go from there. This one I think is actually, I think I changed this one on mine to actually do the whole dang thing. Yeah, it's already building the character map and doing all of the other stuff that it's supposed to be doing. So it's actually doing it. So it's not even asking me anymore what I want it to do because the one on my laptop, which is why I did the other one on my desktop, even though I wanted to do it on my laptop last week. Um, yeah, it's creating. So it's actually it created the concept. It's building the character bios and comedy architecture map, and then it will do the chapter outline. It's actually so I let it do a lot of its own work. And that's me. That's because some of these I've gotten, like if you saw in the other, like I posted what one of mine does, the one that actually writes them, I do not touch once I've picked it out. I'll go in and change names, um, but I let it do its whole thing. What I'm trying to do is replicate my workflow that writes from start to finish, um, from concept to edited first draft, which are the first drafts on the website, is currently at 258 separate steps. And I'm trying to replicate as much of that as possible in here. Uh, that's my goal, my own personal goal, for it to be able to do that, to know everything that I think and want it to do. Is it perfect? No. Um, Especially when I had it make a whole nother one today, it keeps pausing and driving me nuts. But that I was trying to show you. See this one now? It's still extracting all of the information and reading it. It's looking at all, it has to take everything out of the codex and outline that are in there and create something similar or pull out all the concepts with it. It does them in chunks. Think of them as this chunk, and this chunk. It's not necessarily perfect, but it's trying to do it in smaller pieces so that it won't go wherever it seems to think it's going to go. Um, so it's going to keep doing that until it reads everything. And when it has an entire codex and outline, then it can go from there. Now you can also tell it just read the codex and create a series. This one I said the outline. Why? Because book one had two couples in it. So I don't want two couples in book one. I want that split. And it needs to now figure out how the heck to split it. So I'm making it do the work that I don't want to do. And that's pretty much what I use Claude for. There's a lot of work I do not want to do. There's a lot of work I'm not good at. I am terrible with dialogue. I can come up with the story concepts, like even with some of my first books, I dictated what I wanted. And then I had it go back, clean it up, and make it into the story. It means to start a new chat. Don't do it. You can do it though in the same chat that you have just created an outline. I honestly give up with my dog. Sorry for a second. He's just decided to take all the blankets off of, I don't know where he's going with them, but whatever. Um, so what it wants you to do is to create a new chat, but you don't have to if you have an outline created in it. What it's trying to do is actually save you tokens. If you start a new session, then it's not going to read everything back up. What a lot of people don't realize is the more words that it's looking at, like this, is costing a lot of tokens, which are your usage doohickeys. So if we all look at Dana's usage, And I look at it just to see where I'm at. My current session, I'm at 31% used. And I was doing stuff before it, but this was, I'm on the 200, I'm at the 20 times plan, so the $200 a month. So if I was on the max plan at 100, I'd be at 62% already. So it does take quite a bit. So if you were on just the pro plan, and you can see I use extra usage as well. Now he's decided my bath mat is evil, so he's attacking my bath mat. Um, doo-doo-doo. Hold on. This is the one fun thing about using. Oh, I'm not even going to fight him with that right now. I might just have whatever. But it does cost something to do this. So if I was doing this with, say, the $20 a month plan, okay? Let me see where this one is at. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Concept locked, going with a fresh angle. Lost Things, a cozy paranormal rom-com that deliberately sidesteps the saturated vampire thing. Blah, blah, blah. Imogen, I would want to change that name because I'm bored of the name Imogen. Hey, it's a 600-year-old corgi. Let's see. So see, here you go. 3 hooks built in. These things absolutely love to make series. So sometimes when you're doing these things, it will do that. So comedy stays load bearing through Act 3, the climate, and it's got this. No, it came up with all of this wonderful stuff. I'll just leave the names for right now. Take this and make it a series. And it's going to go ahead and do that. But going back, if I was on the $20 a month plan, what I would do is I would take one of the PDFs and I would download it or convert it to a markdown file. It's already written in markdown. It's just I cannot share it with you as a markdown file. No system allows me to upload it like that at this point. They consider it dangerous, I think, but it just wouldn't let me do that. So I would save it as a markdown and then just upload it as a markdown file. Because what's costing the most right now with that whole thing is that it is reading the entire PDF file. So this one now is going to take this that it just wrote. It's very nice for it to write it. Sidesteps all 4. Magical system is object resonance. That's actually quite common. So I would probably change that. I do like the 600-year-old corgi though. So she narrates her own engagement party meltdown in the Dewey Decimal categories as her fiance kisses her sister behind the gift table. So yeah, I can totally see that happening. And then it goes through and it's built everything. I'm trying to see if there's anything else in here that I need. No, this is the rom-com arc. We went through the arc and how it does all this stuff. So we have Pemberton. I like the name too. Maris, Carolyn, Theo. I really need to advance, but since he's a bad guy, we'll go ahead and leave it. Birdie and Walt and Hattie. So that's fine. Settings, that's fine as well. Very specific on the architecture, which I do appreciate. So series spine is locked, and now it's going to build the series Bible. So it's doing books 2 through 5. But like I said, you can do it with this. You can see how it's continuing to work. And I get bored waiting. That's usually my problem, is that I get bored. And so I want to create, I end up creating a lot more. So that's actually how this whole thing started, was that I get bored and I create a lot of ideas. Um, there's a lot of books actually that I have written that have not been published because of that. But you all get my ideas with all the codex and outlines that we decide to sell. And Joe had a penguin thing going on with today's. I don't know if you guys saw those. Someone picked both of them up pretty quick. Talking penguins are his new thing. That's because I like penguins, in case anyone didn't notice. So, but it works with all different things. And a lot of the times I'll even start in the same thing. Create a thriller series. It still has the keywords in there to create a series. I do not upload. I would give him the links, honestly. If you have it in a drive that he can access, that way he can always go back and access them, and it's not taking up any space technically within his realm. He will actually build off of it. I'm big into leaving as much on my drives as possible. Create a thriller series, mystery thriller series with a female detective and a unique pet. Not paranormal, but one that talks for her. So, as long as you say series when you're creating it, it's going to bring the pieces of it together. Like, if I have the mystery, I don't know if you guys have it yet. The mystery thriller series, I actually have that. So, I have, because since I build these on this device, it has all of them. So you can have it doing all of these wonderful things. Here we go. Okay. So he finally has everything: group chat goblins, the silent save, the dartboard accords, the standing order. And you see it's got the trope anchors. That doesn't mean that there aren't other tropes. These are the main tropes, though, that it's going to focus on, which is nice because if you want to do a whole series with rivals to lovers, you can. They can all be standalones, but have the trope be the anchor. Like with the one that I was saying, the heel series is all dominance. It's all with a power imbalance. So that's all you want to do. So 4 work friends, 1 private group chat, and 5 romances that turn a survival pod into a real family. What stays in goblins stays in goblins. So this whole thing, found family expands without breaking. Book one goblin pairs off, the chat survives. So the second goblin pair, that works. Perfect. And this is the series through line. This is what's going to happen. Each book is complete happily ever after for its central couple. And so readers never feel cheated. And that's kind of what you want to do with this sort of thing. So let's do it. Now let's see what else we got going on. Let's do a crow or a raven that she rehabbed. I want to do I want to do that one. Do we have to create a special project for every series and pen name? No. I say to have a project for every pen name, not series. I can work within one project and even have another chat. What I've actually done in other ones, let's do 7 books or longer. Private investigator. Because I don't have that. So what I can actually do is say, I've got this one, right? I can actually, and this is how I do it because I say rename and I copy. I can actually go here and say, look at this chat and do whatever I need. And it will look within the same project to find the chat that I just mentioned. So as you can see, I can still continue, but I do that with, that's why I have each project be a pen name. Because usually what I do inside a lot of them, I don't do it in all of them, is I have specific instructions. So, like this one actually started out as a working project because I had someone come to my house. And so that's what I put in there. And I had certain files in here just specifically for that. I just haven't changed it yet. So, hey, we have the Salt Marrow Bureau, 5-book series with a real arc, not a sprawl. Each book gets a fresh couple and full happily ever after. Felix and Imogen become the through line. The series level questions, who built the Bureau and why, is whispered in book 1, given a date in book 2, and given a name in book 4, and fully answered in book 5. Kind of left out book 3, but that's okay. So this is what you, excuse me, this is what you want to do. The series ends with intentional spin-off seeds. So if the series is doing well, you can expand it. If the series sucks, you can drop it. You can also come back and pick it up later. So say afterwards, say we did this, let's expand to 10 books. And it can do it. It will do books 6 through 10. You can also, at this point, let's add a reader magnet novella, and it will do it. Which comes before book 1. Let's see, what was the over questions? Yeah. Make sure it doesn't answer who built, what are we calling it? The Bureau? it shows pieces of it that will pay off later. So this one, though, everything, each book ends, right? So then you go over to this one where he's still working on it. Okay. This is the one that came from the other one. Up. Okay. We did that. Yep. So here are each of the book premises. So you have the silent save. This we're going back to the one that had the outline and codex. So then it's got all of these. It's a slow burn office romance, heat, warm, one line hook, and it goes with this whole thing. What gets opened? Unresolved chemistry. So all of these different pieces. So since it's book one, it works very well. Then you go into book two, the dartboard accords. It's going to do the same exact thing. And this is what gets opened in it. So why would someone want what gets opened means why would someone want to go to book two? Why would someone want to continue reading to book three? These are the things, they're teasers that are in there. So some of the romance books that I've read, they'll sit there and there's usually a character that you want to know their story. You want to know their background. That's some of the stuff that we're building in here. We need to know about Theo. I want to know about Theo. Why don't I know about Theo? I like Theo. If I like the character, I want to know about him. Even if I don't like the character, sometimes, like, there's one book I was reading, and the villain was like book four. And it was his turn, and he actually ended up with someone in book four. And he was still the villain. I mean, he was still the bad guy in all aspects of it. But it was kind of cool because we got to see him because we liked him. He was a likable villain. I like likable bad guys sometimes. Okay. So it's going to say, if I like this, then let's go. Let's continue. And it's going to continue. And it's looking at all of this information and it's going to create all these things. And it creates all of the documents and everything else. So this is the original four people that it is going to show their arc. It gets a lot more detailed than I think of in my head, which is why I kind of like it. Because I don't think of all these things. I don't think of their relationship, their skills, or anything else. No, that's okay. You don't have a whole house to chew on that thing. Please do so right there. Yep. And sit on the laptop. So this isn't, I don't think of all these things. I've never thought of these things. I've never thought of all the different pieces and parts. So when I started building these things, I was like, well, what else do we need? And when I'm writing something, I had to figure out, these weren't things that were coming to my head as I started writing, especially with AI, because you just do things. And when you're writing or building something, you know, I've seen people, and I was never able to do this with Post-it notes, sticking them all over the place and mapping it out. I'm actually the person that does the center person and then draws the lines out. I do that type of a mapping system. Um, and I used to have huge dry erase boards of what I was doing with it, of mapping out how everything goes and how everything connects to who connects to what and everything. It actually ended up looking like a murder board half the time. Um, and those were just concepts. So I have that one doing a novella, and this one is building it out. So as you can see, you could do it with any of them. You can do it with any concept. You can start from zero, which is what I did here. I started with just create a mystery thriller series. You can go with starting with the outline where it created the original outline. So any of the outline thingies, and then tell it to take it and make it a series. And now it's going to go through the whole thing. And I can't explain why they look different. I can't explain why. Um, I can't explain why the series builder will look different on certain aspects than even on certain computers, it ends up looking differently. I don't know. I can't explain that one. It might look different when you run it tomorrow. So, what you want to do, yeah, so there are trigger words and trigger phrases with any of these. Mandatory triggers. I don't know if you guys can read all that, but down here it says, gosh, nabbit. Mandatory triggers, cozy mystery outline, outline a cozy mystery plotting, plot a cozy mystery, mystery outline, outline my mystery, who done it outline, cozy mystery novella outline. You can see what it is or any mention of whatever. So they each have catchphrases. So you need to make sure that you're using either its catchphrase or use the line and say, and it comes up like that with a blue link. So it knows exactly what skill you're using. So as long as you're using a catchphrase, like on this one, okay, it's got the novella. Now I'm going to say series creator using the information. Oh, yes. Yes, you can. Question is, can you ask Cowork to write in the style of the pen name X? Yes, you can, as long as it knows what it is. But you have to establish what it is. If it doesn't know, then it doesn't know. Using the information we've just created, build the series. There are no stupid questions. I'll start off by that. When creating a new project for a pen name, do you choose a local drive or do you connect to something like OneDrive, etc.? I leave memory on for everything. I'll end with that one. I always use Google Drive. The only time that I actually use the only directory it has access to on my computer, it's actually my iCloud drive. It has access to where all of my books are located from Vellum. It has access to my download directory. That's it. Those are the only two. No one can No, you need to do the one. Oh my goodness, you're asking a lot of questions here. Okay. One consolidated master series Bible and start there. So, going back to that question, when doing any of these things, now I work primarily in Google Drive. And the reason why is because I have 2 terabytes of data that's included with my email address. So I'm using it. But I can take everything from there and I can use it on any system that I'm on. My iCloud Drive does the same thing, it's very similar. What's interesting, this is just a side thing. This laptop is new. Excuse me. For some reason, when I search on Finder, which is like a directory file manager type thing, my desktop and my laptop have 2 totally separate looks to it of how it handles it. So go figure. All right. The Halloran and Mysteries, a 7-book mystery thriller. Long runner built around Cass Halloran and Asheville ex-cop turned PI. The One Ring Rehab Raven. I like that. Awesome. Let's build. Let's see what's continue setting up the series with arcs, etc. Using the series creator skill. Do you see how I'm doing this with all different types of wording? And I'm just talking to it and I'm telling it exactly what to do. And I'm telling it, use the series creator skill. I want it to use the skill. So this one, I didn't want to do the slash. So usually what I do, if I'm setting up a new project is, well, a new pen name, is that in the instructions for setting up a project, start from scratch is usually what I do. But if you already have a folder you work from, or say I have a series that's already done, okay? Say you bought a series from a codex, right? From one of the things, and it's already got all the series stuff set up in there. I'll use that folder and I will let it know that everything is in there that it needs to get started to write the series. But from start from scratch, this is where you add the voice file or anything that you have that writes in its voice, add it there. Instructions, tell it what it is. This, you are an expert, whatever, whatever, whatever. I don't even do that. Most of mine don't have anything in there, to tell you the truth, but it can help. This is what I add files to, because this is where you're going to add like your voice files, the ones that you've created that said, this is how I want the voices to be. This is how I write. This is how I do this. It doesn't mean you can't add more files later. Yeah, we do have daylight savings here, but that's okay. You can catch up. It's still working in the background. So I always do it, and it's a new pen name and it does whatever. Like this one is new. I created this one this morning and I didn't add anything in it. And what's funny, I actually did the whole, like I just told it my idea and it was actually from something that I had written down in a note. So you can find that sort of thing. Where's our classroom? Let's see where we're at. Okay, so it's got the whole thing. This one isn't in here until book 4. This person doesn't show up. So it's got all the people. And of course, hasn't dated since 2023. So we've got antagonists. These are recurring annoying people. I like recurring annoying people. My supporting cast. This is where sometimes I will look, especially when it does supporting casts, to make sure that Marcus Chen does not show up. Because if he does, then I get annoyed. Because he's been there a lot already. No, this is all series creation. So then how the arcs interlocked is how it all works. Bianca's book, you know, it goes into, oh, I hate pregnancies, but whatever. Um, so it tells you, and then now it's going to write the full continuity Bible. Let's go. So we've got the whole pattern, we've got it, what it does, what it's continuing to do, and that one. So this is the one that we took from the Codex and Outline and split the first book into two different books. And this is big, okay? This is probably one of the biggest things that you want to keep up with. The continuity, timelines, Claude doesn't understand time. He had the hardest time with me telling him today was Saturday. He didn't understand that. I kept telling him today, and he's like, Sunday? I'm like, no, it is not Sunday. And understand his time is set up in your settings. It's there. It tells him in the actual program what day it is, but he still doesn't do it. He still doesn't understand. He was making up days too, by the way. I have no idea what he was doing. So then time gaps between books, this is important. Holidays and seasonal set pieces, because there might be a holiday that's thrown in there. So then we have the World Bible, which is the agency that we're working with, where it goes. All of these little pieces and parts are in this series so that it all interconnects and it all works together. I like that. Huddle rooms, and they're all named after, yeah, Book 4 adds Clubhouse. I wanted to be on Clubhouse. I really did, but I couldn't get into it. I couldn't listen to people talk forever. Just saying. So let's see. Then we have recurring outside location. It's within settings for the memory, but I can't remember where right off the top of my head. Yeah, but I know some people that killed it on Clubhouse. They were so awesome. They were like constantly on it. I'm like, why? Why do you want to be on there talking to people? So it's got all of these places in here. If I don't like any of the names, I would change the names. Kind of reading it to see if there's anything. I have no desire to spy on Clubhouse. I have invitations and everything else. No desire. I was one of the first people that, like, I think that when we first joined, we were the first 1,000 people in, and I still couldn't stand it. Thank you. I can never remember where stuff is. I just click. I click a lot. So the thread tracker. So these are expansion points. If you ever want to go past 5 books, you can continue on the series. This is when this I would actually change because it is a male female grouping. So I would go ahead and change that one only because, but that's for later on. But expansion points, it lets you know. Same thing. So let's go back. Let's go to a new one. Hold on. Let's see. This one. Where's this one? Yep. Continue. I'm just having it continue. It's on the same steps. So if I have a book, let me find a book. Mm, I'm trying to think. This one was a good one. Notice it's an EPUB. Okay. Series creator. Yeah. Create a new series from this book. Oh my gosh, I don't know why you have to sit on me. Great. See, this is what happens. This is my midnight, guys. So this is a book. I'm uploading the EPUB file. This book actually did very well, and actually did very well on YouTube. It's one of the most watched ones I have on YouTube. So it's the exact same thing. It's this one. Okay. Using the, yeah. It's not necessarily continue building the series. So it's the exact same process. Now it's going to read the book first. So, yes, it absolutely can do it. But it does have to read the book. And if I really wanted to search on my Google Drive, it is somewhere there. My goal at the end of the year is to clean out some of my Google Drive stuff because that's way too much stuff. See, and it even says it's going to collect series setup questions from me after it figures out the book. It's very nice of it. And it's going to come up with all its progress things over here, which it doesn't always follow, but it kind of goes with it. Continue. Let's go. So it's done every, good grief. Okay. So it's got the expansion points, it's got the continuity guardrails. So this is stuff that's non negotiable. The step 5 checkpoints before I move on, the 4-year timeline. It's asking you if everything is okay, and it's going to continue. So now it's going to do a high level book outline. So it's going to tell you exactly what you want. in each act. This is high level, this is not detailed. So I've read through Baking Up a Billionaire, Dual Point of View, yes, Emma versus Marcus, with Lila and Cousin and Ivy in the ensemble. Let's see, how many books? Let's do 5 because I just like, actually, we're going to do 4 in this one. Let's do interconnected couples because Emma and Marcus were done. This is all sweet and closed door. No babies or preg. What else do I hate? That's about it. Okay. No licking my feet. I don't like that either. Go. So you can see it's going to do the exact same thing from the book that I've already written. And it's going to build the world and it's going to create the new codex. It's going to create the new outlines. It's going to do all of that. So it doesn't matter where you are in any of these, whether it be a purchased one, whether you create it new, whether your ideas are already there somewhere. Like I I had an idea 2 years ago and I wrote it all in notes about creating a series. And I've planned it out multiple times, but I never did anything of it. And I just had it in notes and I handed it over to Claude this morning and I said, build me my series. And it did. And we've got expansion to go, I think up to 15 books, I think, at this point. And we've done the prequel. We've started book 1. I need to edit book 1 before I release the prequel. But we went through all of the prequel this morning, edited it a lot, went through voices of what I wanted. I think that that was the most intensive part, was doing the voices, because I wanted a specific voice for the whole thing. But we went through an entire thing. At the same time, I have Win over here with the massive plugin that I have for Win to write rom-coms, and it is massive. Creating and doing an entire rom-com, like, and all the edits and everything else multiple times through. So each individual thing can be built upon. Inside the lab is where I teach how to combine them so that you can make your own custom ones. And you can start from the one I think we did last week was started from romance, the romance one. And we said, I can make it anything. And you can add anything else in it that you want. It's just a question of doing it. Okay. So I have a file in Google. Somewhere. Heck, it'll be easier for me to find the link. Here we go. I have a file that has, and I'll actually copy and paste it over into Claude, all of it. This has all of the names that I prefer them not to use. Common last names, and Voss is on my list and it's still using it. Make sure we don't use any of these names. Verify and save this list. And I have female names, I have street names, I have other things that, like, as they start popping up. A weird one that popped up for a while was Pippa. Um, that one was really weird. I felt it was kind of obscure for it to pop up, but it did. So let's see, where are we at? No, continue. I'm just hitting continue with these because I want to show what they finished doing. So it did the cliffhanger to book two, or the hook into book two. The final scene of book one is the chat lighting up after Gideon's gallery show. You know, no one wants to see your butt. No one does. So it tells you what it's going to be. I'm trying to move so that you guys do not see his butt, which he's sticking in everyone's faces. We've got the wrong chat beat. That's good. That's good. Make sure we don't duplicate the wrong chat beat over and over, because I can totally see that happening in this. That it would be, oops, I'm sorry, I forgot that I texted there. So all of this can be done with every single thing that you do, and it's going to take you through a little bit different for each piece. So if you do create a book series, so it changed a couple things. We've got Holden, Margot, so that's fine. That's a returning character, so I don't want to change her because she's already been used before. So it's Emma's sister, Nora. Pick a name, pick a name, and start step 3. So you can see it went through a whole thing. Let me save this list immediately of my anti-AI names. Wants to replace, and see, this is why it's going to keep Ivy, because keep already in book 1, keep already in book 1, locked already. Chen is on the list, so we're replacing it. You see how it's working, that you can change anything that you want, but it's also going to verify, because Ivy, I think, is on the list. I think it's on the list, but it says it's not on the list. I swore it was on the list. I'm going to have to add it to the list because it's used a lot, and same with Nora, and Caldwell's actually used a lot. But you can't change a name that's already been used in your series. So if it already has a character, then we're going to keep the same character. So it can definitely do it. It has a thing with Asheville, North Carolina, by the way. I don't know why it likes it so much. But do you guys have any questions? Please post them in the comments. This is a big thing that I think, and you can see that I jump from thing to thing. Yes, it's because Terry lives there that everything wants to go to Asheville. It is pretty though. So it's going to do book 2, continue. Actually, let's switch up and write book 1. Actually, stop. Actually, let's create a voice for the series. So write chapter one and let me see how it works, how it feels, and change anything. So that's how usually when I start a new pen name, I start from scratch. I start from do this and I'll add in different character voices, um, telling it what I want it to do, how I would like it to work, and if I have something going on in my head. So, like the series that I did this morning, it's a new pen name, kind of. Um, I actually have to double check if I did publish from there. Um, but that sort of thing is what you want to do. You want to see how it's working. You want to see, okay, does it work for you? Then I went back and forth. I was like, this is really flat. You guys heard me say that yesterday with some of the things that are out there right now. A lot of people don't realize that, like, sometimes Claude goes into a really monotone thing where all your characters sound exactly the same. It's like they have no defining different points of action or voice tones or ways that they speak or anything else. So make sure that you're paying attention to that, because that's not how you're thinking in your head when you're writing. When you're having Claude help with the writing and doing some of the writing for us, we want to make sure that it understands, and it doesn't. It's just going to write as it writes because that's just what he does, which is totally understandable. Because he really doesn't understand inflections unless he's cussing me out, um, which does happen. So definitely keep up with it. Um, Whisking up a hedge funder, folding in a founder. Oh, I like that. That's fun. Let's do it. Do it. Those I might actually keep. See where this one is. Yeah. Okay. Package is sized for 7 books, but preloaded with 3 natural expansion paths. Joe Pugh's book, The Rosalind Succession, Maddie, whatever. Okay. Series grow best when they grow organically. He has to throw in stuff like that. Someone actually, I saw earlier, someone had like a whole thing to tell him to shut up. Literally, it was give me one line answers. And I was like, I think you might be missing something. Okay, that one is just continuing on. So all it's doing right here is continuing each book series, the series arc of what you want to do, how you want to do it, and then it goes from there. It continues on in its own little way. Okay, we have the final scene and it's looking. See, but this is the same last line. Hold on, let me see up here. I swear I just saw the same exact last line too. Yep. You have the same last line for both books. Dumbass. But you see, you have to stay on it because he will repeat stuff. He likes to repeat stuff. He's very good at repeating stuff. That's actually what AI is. It is repeating and rephrasing things that have already done. What did it do here? Hold on. It added a piece. Locked in. Here's a revised comedy engine plan across the series. gets a distinct miscommunication device, and the wrong chat beat shows up exactly twice. Origin in book 1 and deliberate callback inversion in book 4, so that it doesn't happen constantly. So it does listen to you, it's paying attention, and it's going to lock things in that you want locked in. So make sure that you're paying attention to it as you're going through it. Again, does anyone have any questions? This was a lot with multi parts. This is one of those that you're probably going to want to come back and probably pay attention to. And you also just saw in a small fraction of how I run through things when I'm actually doing my own work as well. Because I'm actually turning on the light just to let you know in the bedroom since he's freaking out. So, does anyone have any questions about how the series creator works or how to take a book and create it into a series or how to expand from a codex and outline? Yes, you can always post questions in the group. If you do not want to ask in the group, go ahead and send me a DM and I might do it either way. Whether I have to post a video inside of the classroom, because this will go an easy way, honestly. So this in a few minutes will be up on school so that you guys can rewatch it as a post. It will also tomorrow be in a classroom. I just don't do it in at the same time because honestly, I'm done. Post them underneath the post. School doesn't have it where inside a classroom you can post questions, which I think is really stupid. There's a lot of things that I think that they need to grow on before they do some other things that they're building to make it more interactive for the people that join the groups. But we're going to tolerate it for now because I sure as hell don't want to move all 800 of you guys over into different places. And it would have to be self-done, and I really don't want to do that. But go ahead. I'm posting this right up after this, and then post questions right underneath it. And then depending on how it is, depending on what the question is, sometimes I need to demo to show, and I'll do that. And otherwise, just go for it. Guys, seriously, just have fun with this. There is nothing that cannot be fixed. You cannot break the system. Yes, you can write a shitty book. Yes, you can mess something up, but you can't break it. That's what I think. A lot of people are so afraid of trying things. Just talk to it and tell it exactly what you want in the words that you have in your head, and it can comprehend that. It was trained on human language of how we talk. Just think about it as talking as a toddler to a toddler. So, guys, if you have questions, go ahead, drop them in the group, and I will see you all in the group tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow is also, I'll actually, hold on one second. And hide this.